My name is Cecilia, Undie Cecilia. I want to thank God for his continuous faithfulness in my life. Today specifically, I want to thank Jehovah Jireh for provision and Ebenezer for help. I had desired to further my education abroad, which meant it was capital intensive. So I had started applying for scholarships right after school, but nothing was forthcoming. I was determined not to take student loans because Proverbs 22 verse 7 says the borrower is servant to the lender, and Matthew 6:24 records that you can't serve two masters at the same time. You can't serve God and you can't serve mammon. So I said I would serve God, my money will serve God, and God will supply according to his riches in glory. Month after month, I would write it as a request during miracle service. At some point, I was getting really discouraged. I'll come to church and hear many, many testimonies, even on scholarship. At some point, I had the sermon mentality of a victor on repeat. There was this part where Apostle said there was a time in his life where he wasn't doing anything wrong. It just wasn't his season of appearing yet. That even with all he knows today, he was doing everything right. He said sometimes it isn't a faith problem. Just stay faithful in doing what you already are doing. So I made up my mind to stay joyful and keep clapping for men until it was my turn. I had applied for a scholarship last year, but I didn't get a response back. Earlier this year, the portal opened again and I applied again. This time, I got a response inviting me for a computer-based test. Before going for my exam, I went to meet Apostle to pray for me. I prayed for favor from the day I traveled to write the exams for about a month period using the last 30 minutes of this grace called Favor, which had various prayer sessions. So I traveled to write my exams, and I kept praying for favor, this time with computer systems, literally. I kept declaring that any question I didn't know I wasn't going to see. I also kept declaring that I was heaven's priority, and the angels of heaven went before me. Truly, when I wrote my exams, it seemed tailor-made to me, and I did pass with flying colors. After my exams, I go again to see Apostle, and I tell him my score. So he prayed for me and told me I'll be called for the interview. He prayed the favor of God. He prayed that God would grant me my scholarship and even my visa. About 2 weeks later, I was called again to come and do the interview, which I traveled for. This time around, I prayed for favor, but with men. After the interview, I kept praying for the mercy and favor and help of God, because I had done all I knew and needed to do, but I needed the intervention of God. About 3 weeks later, I woke up to a mail stating that I had been granted the scholarship. This scholarship covers tuition, accommodation, living expenses, flights, and visa fees. I'm so grateful to God for this. Despite doing all I knew I needed to do, it's but for his grace that I got the scholarship. I want to say thank you to Apostle for his labor of love. I want to say thank you to Pastor Kenny and Pastor Promise of Prayer Department for their continuous encouragement, constantly reminding me that it wasn't hard for God to help or lift a man. Through it all, I kept declaring Romans 8:28, that all things will work together for my good. I'm also grateful to KSOM, where I was privileged to be structurally mentored for 6 months. Thank you, Pastor Isaac. Thank you, Pastor Coyote. During my waiting period, there has been a constant transformation of my heart, purifying my desires and teaching my mind that it was about kingdom come, not ambition rooted himself. Thank you, Jesus.
Can we join her in celebrating the Lord?